India is a land of varied physical features. It has Himalayas, beaches in Kerala, the Thar Desert in Rajasthan, and the Deccan Plateau. Even the color of soil varies from one region to another. For example, in Maharashtra, you find both black soil and red soil together. But in Madhya Pradesh, you will only see red soil. This variation in soil is due to the kind of rocks from which they are made. The relief and the physical features of India have evolved through different geological periods during the process of formation of India as it looks today. The India landmass was subjected to erosion, weathering, and deposition. The physical features of India that you see today are the result of all of this process, like mountains, plains, plateaus, rivers, coastline areas. No one knows exactly how India was formed. However, scientists have several theories that try to explain the process. One such theory is the theory of the plate tectonics. According to this theory, the Earth's crust is made up of several major and some minor plates. When the plates move, they causes disturbance in the continental crust. When the plates move, they causes disturbance in the continental crust. This leads to folding, faulting, and volcanic activity. In fact, most volcanoes are located at the edges of the plates. These plates are classified into a convergent boundary where two plates collide, a divergent boundary where they pull apart, and transform boundary where they slide past each other. Let's talk about these three boundaries in detail. Convergent plate boundaries occur when two plates collide with each other. There are two major types. First is continental to continental. These occur when two plates of continental collide, they buckle and they form mountains. Next we have continental to oceanic collisions. When the plates of the oceanic crust collide with the plate of the continental crust, the oceanic crust is more thick and subject beneath the continental crust. The magma from the melted oceanic crust rises to the surface, and this resulted in the volcanoes over the surface of the earth. Next we have divergent boundaries. This is when two plates move away from each other. The separation allows the asthenosphere rises towards the surface, partially melts. This melting creates magma which erupts in the form of lava. Lava cools and solidifies to create new rock. It creates oceanic floor or new continental crust. Transform boundaries occur when two plates move past each other horizontally. When the plates move next to each other, they do not go along smoothly, instead they move away from each other. This sudden movement crush the rock, and this can be felt as earthquakes. Unlikely from other types of boundaries, the transform boundaries generally do not produce magma. The San Andreas cracks in California is a major transform boundaries. So there we go with the three types of plate boundaries: convergent, divergent. So how this theory applied to India? Peninsular India is a part of ancient supercontinent, that is Gondwana land. Gondwana land originally consists of a number of land masses including South America, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, and India, all joined together. What split up Gondwana land? Divergent plates split up the crust of the Gondwana land into smaller parts, of which the Indian plate was one. The Indian plate drifted north till it collided with the Eurasian plate. The collision caused the sedimentary rocks in the Tethys Sea to be lifted upward. This is how the Himalayas were formed. This uplift also created a depression in the north. Over time, this depression formed a basin that filled with the sediments of rivers flowing from the mountains. We know now this area, which is rich in fertile alluvial soil, as the northern plains of India. Different physical features of India were formed at different times. The oldest physical feature is the Peninsular Plateau. It is composed of igneous and metamorphic rock and has hills and wide valleys. The Himalayas are a relatively younger physical feature. It consists of high peaks, deep valleys, and rivers that are fast flowing. Do you know, geologists believe that the Himalayas are still continuing to rise by 1 centimeter every year. The Himalayas are fold mountains that cover the northern boundaries of India. They are geologically young as compared to other mountain ranges. The Himalayan range is the highest and the most rugged mountain range in the world. It extends from the river Indus in the west to the Brahmaputra in the east, forming an arch of about 2,400 kilometers. The width of this range varies. For instance, in Kashmir, the range is 400 kilometers wide, while in Arunachal Pradesh, the width decreases to 150 kilometers. If you compare the eastern and the western halves of the range, then you will find considerably more difference in the altitude, that is height, of various mountains in the western half. The Himalayas are formed from 3 parallel ranges of mountains: the Himadri, the Himachal, and the Shivaliks. Several valleys lie between these mountain ranges. The Himadri, also called the Great or Inner Himalaya, is the northmost range of the Himalayas. This range is in a single unbroken line and has the highest peak. Considering that the average height of peak in the Himadri is 6,000 meters, it is not surprising to know that the peaks of the Himalayas are located in this range. For example, Mount Everest and Mount Godwin-Austen. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world, and Mount Godwin-Austen is the second highest peak in the world. Both of these are all part of this range. Mount Everest is located in Nepal, while Mount Godwin-Austen is located in Ladakh, that is in India. As mentioned earlier, the Himalayas are fold mountains. However, the Great Himalayas folds are not completely symmetrical. This is why the peaks dips slightly away from the center. The core of the Himalayan range is composed of granite. The lofty heights of mountains of the Great Himalayan range mean peaks are covered with snow all the year around. As a result, no vegetation grows on these mountains. However, several glaciers such as the Gangotri and the Sechin originated from this range. These glaciers feed rivers that are the source of water for a large part of the population. The Zojila Pass is also situated in the Great Himalayan Range. This pass is only link between Ladakh and Kashmir. The next range, which is known as Himachal, is located south of the Greater Himalayas. The height of this mountain range is between 3,700 to 4,500 meters, as against the average height of 6,000 meters in the Greater Himalayas. Hence, this range is all referred to as the Lesser Himalayas. The average width of the Himachal range is 50 kilometers. This range has a roughest terrain amongst all the mountain ranges in the world. The terrain of the mountain range is composed of highly compressed rocks that have undergone considerable changes in composition or appearances. In other words, the Himachal is made up of rocks particles. Let us look at some of the prominent ranges in Himalaya. The Pir Panjal is the longest range in the Lesser Himalayas. The other notable ranges are Dhauladhar and Mahabharat. These ranges are famous for their beauty and a major tourist attraction for the people. The Himachal range is also well known for its hill stations such as Dalhousie, Shimla, Ranikhet and Nainital. Out of these, Dalhousie and Shimla are located in Himachal Pradesh, while Ranikhet and Nainital are located in Uttarakhand. The most significant pictures of valleys that the Kashmir, Kullu and Kangra Valley in Himachal Pradesh are part of this area. The range south of the Himalaya, that is the outermost range of the Himalayas, is the Shivalik range. The Shivaliks are 10 to 50 kilometers wide. The height of these mountain ranges from 900 to 1100 meters. Thus, as you see, the Shivaliks form the lowest range of the Himalayas. This is because this range is built from loose sediments broken down by the rivers flowing from the main Himalayan ranges located up north. The sediments consist of broken stones and soil. Therefore, the valleys of the Shivalik region are covered with thick gravels and alluvial.